Welcome. Thank you for stopping by to check out what this course is all about. Leading teams to become high-performing teams. And that includes virtual teams, hybrid teams, remote workers. What is this all about? It is about how we face today's challenges in leading our teams. How do we lead well with all of the uncertainty and the unknown and the economic uncertainty and political uncertainty and regulations and all of the things that come at us on a daily basis? A lot of that may be even subconscious. We may not even realize all of the things that are affecting us and impacting us as a leader. This course is going to provide a pathway for leaders to improve their skills in leadership, but also a very heavy dose of emotional intelligence. How do we better influence others and lead others in a way that will be productive and effective and get their best output, get their best performance, and increase engagement along the way? So let's walk through this outline and talk about what's in this course. It starts, of course, with the introduction, the welcome to the course, talk a little bit about me, the instructor, my background, where I come from, and my passion to be able to help people lead themselves well and lead other people well. And then we get into the specifics of this course, the outline and the objectives of this course. What will you need to get out of this course to get the value that you want? That's all in the outline and objectives. Then we're going to go down into the beginning of the course, and we're going to talk about starting with good data. In this course, I talk about a specific team assessment that I use, and I'll share that with you. It's the 6 seconds vital signs assessment. It's called the team vital signs. There's also a leadership vital signs assessment, which is a 360 assessment. And then there's an organizational assessment. So think climate survey. One thing about the data that we use that I think is so very important is it's actionable data. So many times you may have done a survey or a climate survey or a team assessment, and they're giving data, but they haven't really given you a path forward. It's not very actionable data. I looked the other day at someone's climate survey for their organization, and it was a big, thick binder. And there were all kinds of things that they said, you should do this, and you should do that, and you should increase this, and you should decrease that. But there was no how to. There was no pathway to make that happen. The assessment that we use, the team vital signs, when we're working with teams, gives you actionable data. You can actually create KPIs out of that assessment. I'm not here selling you that assessment today, although it does sound like it. But I want you to understand, good data leads to good decisions and good outcomes. So if the data you're getting is not giving you the information that you need and want, then find better data somewhere. And we're going to talk about that in the good data into action section. And then we're going to talk about practicing using good data. How do you build good KPIs? How do you build a development process for a team? That's not an easy thing to do. So then we'll move on and talk about something I think is very important, creating success pathways. What is a success pathway? It is a very clear path to each individual and each team and even an organization in how will we be successful. Expectations, understanding, metrics and measures, consequences, everything that's needed to really understand how are we going to be successful when our effort is completed for a given period of time. And there are tools and downloads throughout this course to use. This is a very practical course. It's not just a bunch of theory. These are proven practices, proven methods, proven science that will help you become a better leader, help your leaders become better leaders, and will literally, in many ways, make your job easier. Some of these things, like a success pathway, I call them a liberating structure. What is a liberating structure? Very simply, something that you can put in place that frees time up for you to focus on more high-value efforts. That's a liberating structure. And that's what you get in this course. Many different liberating structures, actually. And then we'll talk about what a team success pathway looks like. How do we develop a team success pathway? Then we're going to talk about what makes up a high-performing team. That's very important. What are the elements, the characteristics and traits that need to be present at certain levels in a team for the team to be a high-performing team? We break that down, we go into details, and there are downloads and videos throughout this course to help you understand that. Then we'll talk about some very important fundamentals of enhancing leadership and getting your team to be a high-performing team. And it starts with connection, connecting well with your team, especially in a virtual environment. How do you connect well? And I'm not talking communication. I'm talking real, authentic connection. How do you connect well with your team members or with other teams? How does your team connect with each other? Then we're going to talk about building trust. Trust is critical. Trust is the currency of getting things done. The more trust that you have, the more you can get done. That is proven science. We've seen it in study after study after study. Higher trust levels, higher performance. And we know in a most recent study, 72% of success factors are based in trust. So that covers a lot. We want to make sure that we think about that. And then how do you build trust between your leadership and your team and between team members in a virtual or remote work environment? Another challenge that we need to look at and not just overcome, but build a structure that's going to help us achieve that in a sustainable fashion. Then we move into growing our leadership influence. Leadership is not about an authoritarian position. You can tell people to do things all day long. Whether they'll do them or not is something else. Here's what your people, if you're a leader, here's what they control. They control their effort. That's what they control. To get the best effort out of people, they need leadership. They need to be influenced. They need to be a part of what is going on. If they're not, you will get a lesser effort. But if they're engaged and if they're involved, you will get a greater effort. And that's what leadership is. How do we influence people to engage at higher levels, to give their best efforts so we can have the highest possible performing team? Then we're going to get into cultivating accountability. Now, we have an entire course on cultivating accountability. We're going to take accountability in kind of a micro look at accountability in the essence of leading a team to become a high-performing team. And we talk about the what and why of accountability, creating a language of accountability, and then practices of accountability. How do we put cultivating accountability into action? From there, we're going to talk about something very important, performance management. And it for hybrid and virtual teams, yes, but really for all teams. And this course is for all teams, whether they're on-site, an in-person or whether they're hybrid or whether there's some variety of remote work and virtual work. We've got to address performance, and we have to think in new ways. There's a lot more in the course about that. One of the key secrets I'll give you, many times it's been easy when it's in person to say, well, if the person is putting in 40 hours a week, they must be giving us their best effort. And we all know that may not be the case. We need to start to shift our thinking from a time-based method or a time-based model to an accomplishment-based model, or what I call a contribution-based model. The more we can do that, especially with hybrid and remote workers, the better off we're going to be, the higher functioning our team will be, because then we're focused on not just putting in the time and just getting through it. We're focused on getting things done, getting things accomplished. Then we'll talk about the pulse points, and that's specific to the assessment I talked about earlier, but it's also generic to any team. These are pulse points that any of us can understand. How much do we care for each other on the team? How much cohesion is there on the team? Things that are critical to team success, but that we may not think about. And these are things that you can put into practice without ever doing that assessment. It's common sense measures. Then we start to close out the course with key performance indicators for team health and vitality. Let's build some KPIs specific to your needs around what healthy looks like for a team. And healthy and vitality is all about the energy and the health a team has to get things done. And then we close the course out by really reflecting on what we've learned, putting those things into some kind of a plan and practice to move forward. And then we provide you a variety of different resources. There's a lot of free content we provide that could enhance your efforts in this area. That's a quick look at this course. Thank you for taking the time to explore this with me. I hope that you will take the course and that you'll share it with others who could benefit from this course. You can get this course and do it by yourself, or you can get this course and have it facilitated. I would be happy to facilitate this course, but we also have EQFIT affiliates around the world that could facilitate the course as well. There is a significant benefit to collaborative learning when people are getting together and talking about what they've learned. So I would highly recommend considering course facilitation. There's also other courses we provide that could be a benefit to you. I hope you'll check those out. Thanks again for stopping by.